Apico. Digitalize the way your business operates.
Is about the software YuuHR, which is basically an HR management software or company management software, specifically designed to make HR processes more easy and get a place where all data are collected. Let's get into this. First, we have here also a lot of settings. First off, basically you have always the company. You can have one parent company and multiple subsidiary companies. So basically this is the big group, and here are all the sub companies. Here you have the name, things like the name, company email address, and so on and so forth. You have different departments inside of a company, and not to forget, we have here dative data. That is basically dative. I'm not sure if they are international, but in Germany it's the biggest provider for payrolls and also HR data for employees like holidays, etc. We have a lot of laws for that in Germany, and this is for this company and the exports and API with them. You can add multiple locations and multiple subsidiary companies as mentioned. Cancel. So then we have some settings for our document importer, which is basically only a pattern to let's say you have a file which is named like this, and then you have the employee number, then you have a date, whatever, and then you have a name, whatever, like this. Doesn't matter. And now you can upload a file which has this pattern, and say, okay, which is the separator for all the data, and then you can select, okay, we have at position 1 the 0, 1, 2, 4, 3. We have on 1 the employee number, and when we import documents, we would assign these documents to the employee, which has this employee number basically. We have global health insurance settings. You can add here as many health insurances as you need. You can give them a street number for the clients, for Dativ. This is also important for Dativ. And these can be used global inside of the employee profile. Also, same for the salary types. Then we have different labels for our documents. We have document templates, which is basically important for example, for a working contract. You can upload a docx, which has these placeholders supported. You can, inside of the docx file, use these placeholders to fill the data automatically and then upload it here. And when you want to create a new working contract, you just click on it and we will create the PDF document. We have email templates for certain processes inside of YuuHR, basically, or not basically. For example, if you want to send an employee questionnaire, if you have a task reminder, if you have a process reminder, whatever, you can define here the email template. And also we have a few placeholders also. Then we have the applications. This is, for example, when you're sick, when you want to have vacation, etc., it would be managed here. At the moment, we only have the sick leave. In Germany, we had some changes at the beginning of the year. So in the past, you got a letter from the doctor. Now it's digitalized, but you have to tell your employer, hey, I'm sick from here to there. And here also you can define who should get this notification, which is the template, and when it's accepted or rejected, what's the template. Then we have process templates. This makes it more easy to show like processes for new employees or processes that are repeatedly in your company. Let's get into this real quick. You can define inside of this process certain tasks. You can assign these tasks to people. You can assign them to departments or jobs. You can write details, a title, and also a checklist if you have certain points to do, for example. And you can define when this is expired. So after the expired date, the person would get an email like this. Maybe we take this one here also, and because I'm logged in with this account, you can see then the task which is created. So, and basically these templates, I would create a process which is repeatedly and define the tasks in it, and then I can use this again and again, and I don't have to create these tasks separately. Also here we have the permission groups, what is the user allowed to do, etc. Then we have the employee development. Here you can create like documents you want to use in your monthly, quarterly, yearly employee interview, and define here about the topics you want to talk about, and you can define here text fields so you can write it down inside of YuuHR. Then we have settings for the payroll accounting. This is important also for Dativ. You can say which software is used inside of the company, and based on that, we decide the export pattern for the data. And yeah, here you also can create the consultant numbers and the client numbers. Then also we have here the holiday manager, and then last but not least, the employee questionnaire. The employee questionnaire is a function. You can create a questionnaire with all fields from YuuHR, or basically all fields. You can decide which you want. On the left side, on the right side are already on the form, and on the left side they are not used. You can give it a name. You can define the template which should be sent to the applicant. You can define a template which is sent to the supervisor, privacy policy link, and you can upload some documents which are required to download a few cases. And this makes it much more easy to create an employee, because if you create an employee, you will be asked, want to do it manually or by questionnaire. If you select by questionnaire, you just select the questionnaire and the applicant fills out the data without you having to do anything. Yeah. And if he sends back the form, he will be redirected to a page where he gets asked all these questions. He fills them out. The data comes back to YuuHR, and you simply click accept, and then you can edit a few data and save it. Yes. That's to the settings, and now I would lead you to the functions of YuuHR. So first off, we have the dashboard. Here is only this widget where you can see tasks that are overdue or open tasks that are not overdue, and go directly to the task manager from here. So every employee has a quick overview about what's urgent, what is still open. Then every employee has a view for his own personal data. Yeah, he only can edit here a few of these data, not all, because not everything is should be editable by the employee. You have the employee has here his working conditions, like contract and so on and so forth, payment and insurance information, and his documents. And if documents are uploaded, he can download them directly here. Example, contract or paycheck or whatever. Switch to the employee overview. Here in this view, employee, I have as an administrator or HR manager, I have an overview over all employees inside of my company. I have this table, it's sorted by name, and yeah, here I can see where he works, what is the job title, department, supervisor, and so on and so forth. Here, by clicking on one entry, I can go to the employee profile, working conditions, wages and salary, and payment and insurance, documents, processes, educations, and skills. Important, the HR manager or everyone with the permissions can edit everything inside of here. Same for the working conditions, where the employee just can see it. He can add new ones, he can edit the existing ones. And here we decide between unlimited and limited contract. Yeah, here we can define wages and salary, payment and insurance information. And here we have the documents. In this view, we can upload also documents. This doesn't work in this one. And here we have the tab, which I mentioned before for the processes. For example, I can start here a new process, name it onboarding, first time, whatever, and use this process template and say, let's start it today. And this was in the settings, what I showed at first. And here I can see now all tasks. Yeah, and if I go to my task manager now, because one task was also assigned to Max Mustermann 02, I can see it right here. And also the regular Max Mustermann is also assigned. If I finish this task now and set it to complete, he would see it also as this. And also if I go into the employee, I can see this task is done. And last but not least, we have a few for the educations and skills. Yes. Then we have the jobs view. Inside of here, I can define all of my jobs I have inside of a department or a company. And for example, here ThinkNet, we have the department Innendienst, and inside of this department, we have the service or support employee, and we have software developer, for example. Yeah, and also I see on each position the assigned employee. From beta, we also already have Roman here still. Yeah, but I can see this also. And by creating a new job title, I have to enter all of these values, supervisor, address, company, and so on and so forth. I can define here documents which should be created, like a working contract. And I can do a description for the job advertisement. And this would be the next step. We have also vacancies. So you can publish a job so people can apply to it. And in our example, we have one published for the software developer. And here are the vacancy details. Here are the applicants. The user would be referred to an online form where he fills out all the data, and when he sends it, it will be here. And I can click on it, and I can see here the details the user entered. I can give feedback here. As an HR manager, sometimes you have multiple persons involved in this process. Everyone can give their opinion to an applicant. And then you can take the applicant as an employee or at a new interview. If you have this step by step, let's say, for example, first you have a video call, then you have a real life meeting, and then you would have a phone call a few days after, whatever. You can do this by steps. Yes, then task manager. As said, I think I don't need to mention a lot here. You can create tasks for yourself, for others, if you have the permissions. Then we have the payroll accounting. This is also for Dativ to get an export file. You can select your company, the number, and then you can create a file which contains all employees with all necessary data for the for Dativ. And here, last but not least, we have the document importer. Can start an import, give it a title, select all files, use the pattern, and then you can say which type it is. Let's say in this case it would be paycheck, and a description, and then you can start it and we will automatically assign it. You can see then the details. We had this document here, and on position 2 we would have the employee number. Now it's assigned to this employee, and here to this employee. And then at least we have the applications, and here you can add a new application if you're sick. I don't think there's much to say. You just select the name. If you don't have the permissions, you will only see yourself. From when you're sick till you're sick, select type, initial or follow-up, upload maybe the printed version from the doctor, which you don't get in any case. And here you have to confirm the information are correct and send it, and then the email would get to the supervisor, who can then ask at the health insurance if everything is correct. Yeah, that's it to YuuHR. If you have any questions, let me know and we can have a talk about it. Thanks. Bye-bye.